Quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Trading Forex is risky. Don't be an idiot. Use risk management. Enjoy the video. Hello traders, my name is Jamie and in this video I'll be analysing a smart money trade that I took off an order block on £USD for a 5% gain on my account. If you're new here, I make videos about smart money concepts and institutional Forex trading, so if you find this video useful, please consider checking out my other videos and also hitting the like button and subscribing to my channel so you don't miss my future content. It really would mean a lot to me. So I planned this trade as a scalp and I was planning to trail my stop. Normally when I scalp, if you've seen any of my other videos, you'll know that I like to take my first partials at 1 to 3 and then trail my stop loss behind any important structure. However, I did get triggered into this trade later in the day than I planned, and as I had plans to go out, I decided to just set a 1 to 5 profit target and let the trade run. As you can see, I had a 4.7 pip stop and a 23.5 pip target. So, without further ado, let me clean off this chart and show you the analysis. So, I'm going to start my analysis on the 1 hour chart today. If you're curious about what this trade is here, it's actually a trade that I took the other day, and I do have a video on my channel explaining the analysis for this. So, if you're interested in that, I will leave a little link in the card in the I button in the top corner right now. Anyway, so on with the analysis for the trade. You will notice that during the Asian session, we had, and the previous day, we've been in this little uptrend making higher highs and higher lows. And during the Asian session, we pushed up and made a higher high, pulled back and made a higher low. However, as the London session opened, we actually failed to break above this high, forming a lower high, and then broke below this low, forming a lower low, indicating that there was a shift in market structure. This indicated to me that I was looking to take a short position, so I did have a look at some other time frames, didn't find anything too important, and did my main analysis of my entry on the 3-minute chart. So, this is the high that was formed during the Asian session, and then this is our new lower high that was formed at the start of the London session. Now, if you've seen my other order block scalping videos, you'll know that I like to follow a bit of a structure when it comes to taking trades off of order blocks. What I like to see is that first, price creates a level of structure in the market, which I identified as this bit here, then comes back down and pushes above it and absorbs the liquidity above it. So we would actually call this a stop hunt. Then, after that, what we want to see is that price then comes back down and breaks through levels of structure to further confirm that the market structure is shifting. And what you will notice is this move to the downside here broke through multiple levels of structure, indicating to me that market structure was shifting. Now, when we're looking for our entry off of a move like this, we want to enter around the origin of the move that broke structure. So this very bearish move here that broke all of these structure levels, we want to enter somewhere around the origin, which would be up here. Now, when I was deciding where to place my entry, I was thinking about going off some of these candles up here, these last up candles before we had our down move. However, I was somewhat wary of this wick here that pushed up quite high, just because to me it seemed like perhaps that was mitigating some of the orders that were located up here, and therefore price might not come back up here and wick us in. Therefore, instead, I actually chose this order block candle here, this last up candle before we had this bearish move to the downside. There is wicks coming up into it, but they're not touching the bodies or anything, so I was just slightly more confident about this area for my entry. When I was deciding exactly where to place my entry, I wasn't 100% sure, so I did just fib it and enter around the 50% point of the whole candle, and set my limit order at 1.39620. with my stop at 5.4 pips just above the top of this wick here to give me a little bit of breathing room with the trade. So, from then on, it was just waiting for price to return into my area and hopefully trigger me in for the trade. Now, originally when I placed my limit order, I was prepared for trailing my stop. However, like I said in the intro, I did actually have to go out. So by the time that price did come to wick me up, I had just set a 1 to 5 risk to reward ratio. So I'll just put that up there now. So price sort of slowly started making its way back up. Got within pipettes even of my entry. Literally, let me measure this. 0.4 pips from triggering me in. And at this point, I was pretty sure that I just messed up my entry, hadn't put it in the right place, and the price was going to go off without me, which was a little bit disappointing. Especially as we had this massive bearish drop off. However, slowly but surely, price did wiggle its way up and trigger me into the trade, finally. So what I realized actually after I'd been triggered into this trade was price coming up here was actually creating liquidity, engineering liquidity in the market, forming this kind of trend line here from this point to this point, or this point to this point. So there's going to be a lot of retail traders that are sort of selling around this various area, and the market sort of makes these kind of trend lines and areas of liquidity so that it can actually push up, take the liquidity to load up on sells to the downside, if that makes sense. So once we were triggered in, I pretty much had to leave the house as soon as I was triggered in. So it was actually quite nice because I'm used to meticulously staring at my trades as soon as they get triggered in. So it was kind of nice that I had to go out because it meant I could just let it run and forget about it and not be staring at my screen constantly. But anyway, so once we were triggered in, we did sort of hover around, did go into drawdown, but we were still around 1.2 pips away from our stop, which is great. Price did drop off nearing our TP, then sort of started to range a bit. Did that for sort of most of the day, just sort of ranging around here. And then once the London session closed and it was just the tail end of New York, price did start to trickle down and then eventually hit our take profit, which was really great. It was a really nice surprise to come home and check my computer and see a 5% gain on my account from this trade. And overall this trade lasted, around 5.5 hours, so quite a long trade, but for 5%, I am never going to complain. So, I just thought I'd try and keep this video super short and super simple. So if you do have any questions about this trade, anything that I've mentioned, or any video suggestions, please leave a comment down below and I'll get back to you ASAP. If you're interested about the strategy that I'm using for these trades, then I am going to be releasing a video on it soon. I am still working on it, trying to make it good and backtest the exact strategy that I'm going to give to you guys to make sure that I'm not giving you any bad information. So anyway, if you found this video useful or interesting, I would really appreciate if you could leave a like and maybe even subscribe to my channel. I put in a lot of time for these videos for you guys. Happy to do it for you. I enjoy doing it, but if you could like and subscribe, it really would mean a lot to me. So thank you for watching, and hopefully I'll catch you in another video soon.